So I wanted to take a quick minute to talk about the articles that we read last week and spin, slant, and bias. So in some way, everything we read has slant or spin. We kind of can't help it. So we're going to have things about our writing that our opinion comes in. We're human and everything. There are books, whole books about this, how everything is actually an opinion. So anytime you read something, anytime you watch a movie, they all have a point of view that they're getting across. So when we look at the three articles we had last week, they all have a point of view. The first one was definitely, and many of you picked up on this, it had lots of opinion in it. And it didn't pretend to be anything except opinion. It tried to do an argument and prove that they were right, but he also said I a lot of the time, the author. Um, and the publication that it comes from is known as being a kind of more liberal news source. Although in America, really, we're pretty centrist across the board. There are very few people who are true socialists or communists, especially in our country. So next we had one from Breitbart News. Now Breitbart is pretty famous for being the opposite, so conservative. So if you had gone online, one of the things that we've done in the past is look at their mission, look at what they stand for, and would have become pretty clear to you that both Article 1 and Article 2 have clear points of view. And so that is something that you could have checked out. The last one is from Reuters. And so the back to the second one. The second one, if you look through it, the thing that really made it different from the others is that it didn't really give some of the information that the other ones did that would have made it more balanced. So it only gave the point of view of Trump and this kind of being a triumph. It didn't talk about how him saying these things at the National Prayer Breakfast was super unusual. And it didn't give the reactions really of the other people who were there. It didn't really talk about how usually this is supposed to be a religious kind of celebration and put partisan politics aside. And the Trump bringing his impeachment paper there was definitely partisan. And then he did make some digs, like they were things aimed at people. He didn't, I mean, they weren't even kind of hidden. He said them straight out about some of the politicians that he didn't like. The third one was from Reuters, and that one is traditionally one of the more balanced news sources out of any news sources that you can visit. Doesn't mean that they don't have an opinion and they don't have a little bit of slant or spin, but in general, they are really a news source that is trying to put forth exact information, kind of as they as it happens. So in that one, kind of the difference is it didn't, certainly not like the first one. The first one had straight up opinion. He said, I think this. So it did not have that. The second one did give more context to what the statements that Trump was giving. Uh, the third one gave context to Trump's statements and said, well, he just got out of an impeachment trial, and these things he's bringing up are about that. So I hope that gives you a little bit more perspective on that assignment. Overall, you guys did a really good job of observing those things. Um, I think the main message is you always need to be skeptical. When you read something, double check it. Find another source that you trust that will corroborate your story and look at other versions of it. But overall, good job. And I hope you enjoy learning this week about some of the reasons that we believe things that aren't true. And I look forward to your discussion.